Hello, welcome to Matt Loves Eurovision. It's my Eurovision 2023 Top 37 countdown. It's place number 31. It's Denmark, Reiley, Breaking My Heart. Please do click on the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and like, share, and comment below. Now, it's been a bit of a theme of the past 20 or so years at Eurovision that many, perhaps even most Eurovision artists these days have been alumni of some form or another of a TV talent show, whether it be something like X Factor, The Voice, all of these kinds of shows. But an emerging trend, kind of the last couple of years, is of artists who have actually made their name on social media, and more specifically, one particular social media account, which is TikTok. Now, the Danish entry this year, Reiley, is a perfect example of that. He has around 11 million TikTok followers. His first single, which I think used some sample of what the iPhone ringtone was, even charted in South Korea. So can he bring that sort of popularity to the contest, and can he get Denmark's first qualification since 2019? Now, Reiley's real name is Rani Peterson, and he hails from the Faroe Islands. And I believe that he is the first Faroese artist to compete at Eurovision. Of course, Faroe Islands are a self-governing territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. He won Denmark's national selection show, Melodi Grand Prix, a very long-running show, goes back to the 50s. Though interestingly, given that very large TikTok following that he has, he didn't actually win the public vote in the super final. They have the main final, and then the top three go through to the super final, and it was 50-50 jury and televote. And he won the juries handily, but he came joint second with the other one of the other artists in the public vote, and the public vote was won sort of by quite a clear margin by one of the other artist. So yes, that was slightly surprising. Breaking My Heart, firmly in electro-pop territory. There is quite a few K-pop influences in kind of both the music video and also particularly Reiley's look. And despite what, if you take a look at the video, which of course the video description, the video link is in the description, of course. He is actually 25, which obviously is extremely young compared to me, but it's not as young as perhaps he looks. He looks perhaps a little more like 80, but he is actually 25, so which is relatively mature. Well, relatively mature as Eurovision artists can go. So, but there we go. I've got to say, I've been pretty unconvinced by this entry. Sorry, my Danish friends. I do enjoy my electro pop, and while I think this definitely has some catchy elements to it, I do have a number of issues with the song and the performance. In particular, I'm very skeptical about the heavy use of vocal effects on the main vocal to achieve its sound. And I wasn't, to be honest, when I watched the national final performance, I wasn't actually sure which parts were vocal effects and which part what actually was his live vocal with all of that. And from the couple of pre-parties I've seen so far, I haven't really been able to deduce that there's a strong live vocal underneath that. I mean, I will see him in a few days' time at LEP, and again, my opinion might change on that, but certainly I've not been particularly convinced by what I've seen so far. I'm also not a fan of the high pitch kind of voice that he uses. That yes, it's not that is all the way through the song. It's not something I'm particularly liking. So, overall, I think to sum up, I think the song in its delivery tends to irritate me more than anything else, than any other reaction or feeling. As I said, Denmark haven't qualified since 2019, not that long ago, but it's still, they've had a couple of non-qualifiers in a row. And I have to say, I think this goes into the kind of that group of songs that are fighting it out for that 9th or 10th qualification spot in the semi-final. This is Breaking My Heart is opening the second semi-final, which I think suggests a certain confidence that there's going to be some decent or dramatic or notable staging, and that is in the offing. Though I have to say, on the other hand, there weren't that many up-tempo songs to actually pick from in that first half of the second semi-final. I think how the vocals are dealt with are going to be sort of important. I don't know how far you'll be able to get away with the heavy use of vocal effects, and how that could be covered by backing track or other side. So I don't know. I don't know how much that will be allowed and how much whether it will all just whether it can all come together. I think although opening a show is always is often a bit of an honour, it's not the route. It's not a guaranteed route to the semi-final, route to the grand final, because actually the first place in the running order actually doesn't have. It's got one of the not so good qualifying records. Actually, it's just over half, I think, of songs in that position kind of qualify. So it's not as high as some of the second half ones. So, and he is followed in the running order by what is probably quite a dramatic and impactful song with strong live vocals. And I think there's going to be a real risk that this could be forgotten by the televoters. But what do you think? Do you think it will be forgotten, or do you think this one will make it to the final? And if so, how will it do? Do let me know in the comments, and join me again soon. Take care.